There's 14-game win streak has come to an end as Alliance is the first team here, the first team at this minor that is able to make a dent in their record. You are watching the grand finals of the StarLadder ImbaTV minor, and we are heading to a fourth game of the series. I'm here together with Winter and Tsunami. We're going to break this fourth game down because this was a crazy one. When we went back to this room, we thought it was over for Alliance.
Yeah, this is not what I was bracing myself for. I thought we were gonna wrap this whole thing up, say, wow, undefeated Aster, amazing performance, unprecedented. But no, Alliance actually show that these Chinese representatives can bleed. This is very surprising. I think I already know what the MVP is going to say, but what I would want it to say is Handsken, because that Nyx Assassin was the make or break factor for me.
Yeah, but we've been talking a little bit about how sometimes Sccc, even though he showed a lot of improvement throughout the tournament, but he can be sometimes making some very, very serious errors in the game. Like I think it was a slot game where his team pushed a Brax and he didn't back off, didn't have BKB, and he got caught and died.
Yeah.
And just now his AM as well, he didn't use his BKB and he died, and he caused them to Roshan. That game was like everything is on the AM. Because the enemy didn't have really good heroes against the AM, but they have a way of winning where if they get the Roshan, they get the Aegis, they push your high ground, and they get your Rex before the AM can actually win the game for his team.
Yeah, and that was kind of the case. A couple mistakes here and there, and that was it for Aster. Ended quite fast. Pushing power of Alliance was there. I want to start at the lanes. I want to start at where these highlights are going to take us, because the lanes actually, for the first time in this series, looked even as well.
Yeah, like Kyle had mentioned towards the end of the cast, this was the first time that Aster actually loses their mid-tier 1 before they take the enemy mid-tier 1, and that's just a sign of things to come. For Aster, they were saying, well, whatever, we still have anti-mage. Yep. Very similar to how Alliance usually think. Whenever they lose early objectives, they're like, well, whatever, we got Nikobaby, it's all good, right? Unfortunately, I think Nikobaby is a little bit more reliable than Sccc has been.
Well, we've been talking a lot about the supports, and I think Aster this time around, they didn't really felt very comfortable with the Chen. I'm sure he did a lot of good moves like breaking the smoke, tanking the ganks for the AM. But overall, I felt like the Nyx, the Jack hero, they were able to have a lot more game impact in this game, and it secured a lot of crucial, like 1 or 2 crucial kills on AM, and that was it.
Yeah, the trade-off is that we were saying that in the panel, the draft panel, is that Nyx and Jakiro are geared more towards mid and late game, and that the lanes would suffer. Somehow, the lanes did not actually suffer that much for Alliance, despite having what I would consider to be subpar supports compared to, like head-to-head, I would consider Shaman to be superior in the lane compared to what Alliance had, and I would think Chen would be superior also. Yep,
and if you look at the mid lane matchup, Shadowfiend should have some advantage against Death Prophet, but after the laning phase concluded, it was Alliance that came out slightly on top with their lanes, and they did not have the hero that should come out victorious from the laning phase.
And we also had Nahaz saying that this so far has been the slowest lineup that Aster has drafted in the finals so far.
It depends on how slow you consider
Arc to be. I felt like it's like half true and half false, because partly I felt like Aster didn't really utilize the Chen Shadow Shaman very well. The Shadow Shaman was like, he was like doing a lot of
You were very mad at his Serpent Ward placements.
He was doing a lot of very weird stuff, wasting his wards, and they could have used it to at least try to push more towers or make more space, but he chose to place them before he died, I think 2 or 3 times, and just fed all the gold to the Lifestealer.
I think they were playing this anti-mage the way that they've been playing the Arc Warden, which is that once he has a handful of items, then sure, why not let him team fight?
Yeah,
he built an early
but the
BKB.
difference with those games is the enemy did not have such a fast pushing lineup. This time they had the DP that could push, and not to mention the Darkseal, which he has been always very diligent with the wall placement to make sure that he lands it on the AM, so he gets a copy of the AM during the fights.
And between that and the Nyx Assassin's mana burn, then Sccc's anti-mage, you can see, he gets to critical levels of mana so quickly, and just sending that anti-mage illusion against the rest of Aster's lineup was also
They were a bit complacent in this game because they felt like they were so comfortable throughout the tournament. They didn't drop a game. Yeah. This is why I'm always thinking about teams when they have all these records going into finals. When you lose the game, it's quite scary because you have no idea what it's like to lose a game in the event, and you're only used to winning. And when you lose like this, you don't have much time to find and adjust the problem.
Well, I do want to say that Aster, even though they've only won here, they definitely have experience losing on LAN. They did not do too well the previous 2 majors they were at. So I think the main question for me is going to be like how LaNm does, but we also know LaNm is a good coach. I feel like this loss is going to be very interesting to see what Aster does with it. But I wouldn't be too worried.
Like what Carl mentioned, DP could actually be a contested hero, really strong contested hero right now. Because it seems like if it's the way the meta is being played, it's a hero that doesn't really lose the lane. He gives you tower damage, he gives you Roshan, he gives you wave clear.
AoE silence.
Yeah, and the Axe as well. The Axe is actually really, really powerful on the hero right now.
Well, we talk a lot about mental fortitude, and of course, with the Lions doing this well in the 3rd game, you know, thoughts of perhaps reverse sweeps come up in your head. We know that Nigma did that against Secret, and that was super hype. And
Alliance
you know,
did that against Demon Slayers.
No, but it's like there's not a lot of teams that that can mentally do that,
Yo,
right?
33 actually getting the MVP. I'm okay with that, actually.
Yeah, the vacuums.
What do you think, Winter? You satisfied with 33 MVP?
Yeah, he definitely was really focused in the team fights, making sure that he always gets the AM in the wall, which was really crucial because he just used the illusion to chase the other heroes away.
Yeah, but I'm with you, Shiver. Having the potential to even know that a reverse sweep is possible. Not very many teams are capable of that.
Yes, but we know that Alliance is. So that inspires me with confidence. I'm curious though, what are the, like, this game, as Winter says it, if maybe SCCC played a little bit different, the result might have been different. So, like, what lessons does Alliance still take from this game? Despite winning, they're still going to be in their heads.
Alliance's lessons are, hey, we actually can pull off these team fight executions.
Because they didn't do badly in the lanes this time. They actually could play the lanes.
Yeah.
That was very important in looking at the first 3 games. The first 2 games, they had so many problems in the laning phase. Like, they couldn't even play Dota. This game, they actually could play Dota.
But on paper with the draft, we thought that the lanes would not have gone in their favor. So
Yeah, because Aster had supports which they are not necessarily very comfortable with.
it's just the Chen.
Yeah,
You don't
mainly,
like the
mainly the Chen.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Chen as a hero,
Right.
but they might not be comfortable with the hero. You know?
And that's why, like, despite nearly all of us thinking that Chen's a very strong hero right now, teams are ignoring it.
Yeah.
It's not being
I mean, I
banned
could
that
understand
frequently.
the scenario. They are 2-0 up. I mean, you have a game or 2 to try out things that you feel that might not work out.
This is a better time to try things out than at the major.
Right, for sure.
This is slightly sarcasm here, Tsunami, because at the major, at least you got group stages again, you know, you could try again.
Yeah, but at the same time, Aster's been at those majors many times.
That's true,
And they've been dropping the ball every time.
Yep.
I guess 2 games up in the grand finals.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll allow it. We have got the same bands coming out from Aster.
Same setup,
if
right?
they combine
Alliance,
the trio.
Alliance is first pick again. The last game, they were first pick, and they were also on Dire.
Yes.
So everything is the same.
Everything is the same apart from we're missing a Timber band and we're missing a Pango band. That was the other band that Alliance went for in this stage of the draft. We'll see if they do that again.
I don't think you need to respect ban any of the previous heroes. I don't think Alliance need to respect ban any of Aster heroes based off the previous game.
Maybe would maybe Aster want a second pick Death Prophet, or is Nyx Assassin so good against Death Prophet that if you're gonna get Nyx Assassin, at least you're gonna be happy.
It's definitely annoying. And Alliance could 10 pick the DP if they want to.
Yeah.
And for Aster, it's a little bit more difficult to pick the DP because they are second pick here.
Okay, well, they go for the same bands on Aster at least. Let's see. Nyx Assassin out. What's your first pick? Do you want to deny Aster the Pango? Is that big of a deal?
I don't think so.
Wow.
Okay.
They really need that because I think Aster would have taken that Death Prophet. They would have done like Oracle Death Prophet or something like that if they.
So now I guess they're gonna have to pick Oracle +1. You don't want to give Oracle at
Oracle DP, yeah.
Yeah, Oracle DP will be quite hard to handle.
Shaman Oracle, the classic. What, you think
not very
Fate
sure.
is still tilted?
I prefer maybe Oracle at the core or Oracle Clockwork. The opening is much more flexible. Or maybe Oracle Shaker since there's no Ruby.
Oracle Pango.
Oracle Pango could be fine as well.
Keep bringing this Pango up.
Oracle Mars is okay too.
I like the Shaker actually. I think they didn't really exploit DP's vulnerability in the laning phase with that Shadow Fiend matchup, and I think a Shaker would be able to take advantage of.
Actually, that could also be a good.
Whoa! You've been raving about this hero for so long. No one ever picks it. Shadow Demon shows up. Winter.
And a Centaur. This is very different from what you guys were describing the need to get. They still got to support in the core.
You see the ghost, you run away, Shiva. Stampede, bye.
They went in a different direction, but they still got LaNm's checklist. I got a save.
Yeah.
I got disruption and stampede. And I've got a disable.
But I'm not very convinced with those heroes against DP though. Well, we'll see how it plays out. The reason I've been raving about Shadow Demon because I felt like the way the game is being played so far is very centric around the carry. And Shadow Demon is like one of the very strong heroes that is an anti-carry support. You make copies of the carry and you slow him through BAB.
Is he useful in the first phase though? Because you don't even know
I
what
don't
the
know.
carry is.
Not very sure because if you pick SD, usually it's because you see like some
Like an AM or something.
yeah some hero that you can
Phantom Lancer.
abuse.
I must also say that, like, at least I was expecting something that would be like, haha, we have something against the Oracle DP, but I don't really feel
No,
that. I
this
still
does
feel
not
like it's
answer that.
somewhat experimental, which I like. Normally I ask you guys what you think about the opening and which one you like more, but Alliance just got the straight up better opening.
Yeah.
It's okay, everyone will be happy for game 5, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
people won't complain.
The crowd definitely will be happy too.
Oh,
They've been
let's see what's
cheering
the
for
plan.
Alliance.
We'll see what's the plan.
I will say that no matter how strong your heroes are, if the Shadow Demon and the Centaur do lane together, that is an incredibly frustrating lane to go up against. Guaranteed setup into the hoof stomp, you're gonna take a bunch of retaliate damage, and Shadow Demon can go off and stack jungle camps with Shadow Poison in the meanwhile for Centaur to take later on.
Well, I know Sniper is one of the heroes that's good against DP. It was something used to counter DP a while back. I mean, we saw one game Sniper from Gambit previously. Didn't really work out so well, but I do still think that it could be a reasonable solution since they could still lose one more game. So maybe they're gonna try something. They can try one more strategy.
I'd be okay with that. Especially, it seems like, yeah, banning out a Darkseer, something that could surge onto a Sniper, and Alliance for banning out Venge, which that range aura.
Or the other thing that I could think of is Naga. Same thing with the Stampede. You see the Ghost Pop, you sleep, bye-bye, run away. It could be a decent way of dealing with it.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team
First phase Shadow Demon is just
Guys,
really messing things up.
they banned out the Arc Warden.
Deucer.
Is this a Deucer game?
Dusa might be, I don't know, it's a bit risky though, because you don't see the lane and it might be too slow. And Dusa does.
Catcher is very good. Shadow Demon is just very good against Medusa.
10 seconds.
Or would you now ban out?
I think overall they're gonna play around because this DP is kind of. I feel the DP is like kind of like the win condition right now. So they wanna put Nico on like a supporting core again, like something like okay, not lifesteal is not exactly a supporting core, but like a Juggernaut lifesteal too. At least you can assist the DP in a push.
Well, you can't get the lifestealer anymore. Banned out.
Maybe a troll. I don't know, like.
Yeah, with the Oracle, that would actually be amazing.
That would be great.
But you don't have any apparent synergy with the DP.
You push. Both of you push.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
You can push one lane, she pushes the other.
You're gonna get kited a little bit with the Purge though, but I guess you can turn into range, but I'm not sure if that's enough.
Yeah, I think the idea is that Alliance will only fight if they have to.
Yep.
Otherwise, they're just going to try to take structures, and it's up to Aster to start fights into them. Because you've got DP Oracle, you can take fights for as long as they go. You're going to survive through them.
Yeah, I mean, if they want, if they really want to replicate what happened the last game with the lifesteal, I think Juggernaut could be a reasonable replacement for that. Or troll. I mean, but I think Juggernaut is a bit more similar.
Alliances turn.
Ooh!
Whoa.
Oh, okay. Actually, what's happening?
Aster pretending to be a tier 1 team all of a sudden.
What is happening? Everything is different.
I mean, we have been talking about how we feel like we've not seen everything
See,
from
that's
Aster yet.
LaNm has
that's
the,
why
in
the
case of
loss-
emergency draft, pick IO.
That's why the loss rattles a team that hasn't lost.
Whoa,
lost
who's saying
at
they're
all.
rattled? Maybe they were excited. They're like, man, finally we get to show this off.
Yeah, this is their pocket strat.
So what?
Look at them, they're
Io
giggling.
Tiny? What's happening? Io Gyro?
Gyro, maybe.
You want something that does damage faster, don't you? Against DP? I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, they've
I
got
would be-
overall last pick, so they don't have to choose yet. In terms of cores, by the way, we still also have Morphling in the pool. The teams both have played in the past.
I mean, Alliance most probably gonna pick the support here, like some
Yeah.
Shaker, Tiny, Clockwork. There's a lot of heroes that they could pick here. Even Disruptor or Winter Wyvern could be decent. I guess
They
Disruptor.
can glimpse back from the
because
from the
of the
Stampede.
and the
That'd be
relocate.
nice. Relocate glimpse.
Witch Doctor is kind of forgotten. Otherwise, I would say Witch Doctor might not be bad.
No, Gambit has been playing a lot of Witch Doctor,
Oh,
also
that's
against
true.
Alliance, so they might.
Look where
Think about
it
that.
goddamn Shiva. Look where it
What?
There's nothing wrong with being lower bracket finalist. Third place. You have to go third place. You know, it's a
Yeah,
respectable
I'm just
finish.
meaning Shiva. It's okay.
Oh, maybe I didn't really hear you, so
They said, look where their Witch Doctor
I
got
was all
them.
confused. Also, if you play Witch Doctor, you probably want to play it as a 5, and they already got Oracle.
Oh yeah, that's true. Although Handsken's going beast mode on any hero that you give him.
Fair. But can he make the same? Oh.
And there's the Wyvern. Good call.
Do you like Wyvern as a 4?
Not bad. Would prefer Disruptor, but it gives them a lot more safe. So the idea here right now is they just want to make sure that this DP does not die in the fights. Everything here is for the DP, and obviously the relocate with the curse.
I am... Okay, there's the
Gyro.
Who says that it's not a 3 Wyvern?
So now time for Morphling.
Bloodthorn Crystallis build has been quite popular for Wyverns these days. I think 33 has it in his wheelhouse.
Let's not get
Sure,
too
but
far,
I don't think
Neil.
that's
Let's
gonna
not go
happen.
too
Okay.
far, Neil.
Alright, fine.
If anything, I still am like somewhat in the far distance in my brain. There's a little corner that's reserved for being happy about a 33 Chen offlane. But you know, it's been a while, very long while. It's not gonna happen. But
Alright.
maybe.
Maybe.
This is exciting.
This is very
times.
exciting. Yeah, they're flipping the script big time here.
Yep.
So Aster need a mid laner now. There's like no flex potential on Aster whatsoever at this point.
Mars coming out for 33.
Oh man.
I mean,
Shadow Fiend would be a decent last pick for Aster to round things up.
If they ban
Or
out Templar.
Maybe Kanka is also fine. For Alliance right now, they are looking for the Divine Rapier hero.
What, I mean, they
Okay,
could
maybe
give,
Morphling is not the Divine Rapier hero. Never mind.
Do you not think that there's any possibility they give Nico the DP and they're looking for a Limmp hero?
They don't have overall last pick, so it's a bit more difficult to do that. I think if they have last pick, it's easier to adjust like this, you know, because they have to pick a hero right now.
don't you just want to be Morphling and then turn into the gyrocopter and
Yeah,
be the
Yeah.
better?
that's the easy one.
I-
Or I think Juggernaut, so you have the healing wall to support the DP. Those are the options that I can think of right now.
I feel like Aster are just gonna ban for their mid lane though. For some, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, they
Or
are
you
banning
go for the
mid.
Void, since it's against Relocate. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Void, but this game maybe...
And
just
Alliance is a big fan of
Yeah,
Void.
just maybe, but I don't really like the laning phase of the hero. He's gonna have a hard time. Then they're gonna be all on the ultis, so...
A lot of options. But they also got to be wary about the last pick that Aster is going to come with.
Yeah, so if you want a general hero, that's Troll. Troll could be a general hero.
That is the general all-round pick.
Or if you want a general mid, they could go for Kanka.
5 seconds remaining.
The Alliance is with their backs against the wall. They cannot afford to miss a draft. Like, this is it. There's 2 games already on side of Aster. They only need 1 more to punch their ticket to the major. The Alliance wants to get that reverse sweep again. They won a championship like that before. That was actually, they've only been in 2 finals so far,
Okay, there's one more hero that I think might work, Monkey King.
including this one. Monkey.
Yeah, Monkey
Would
with
just
their
against
lineup.
the Centaur?
Yeah, to lane against a Centaur, and then you have the team fight.
They ban
But
out.
I don't know if he plays the hero. He wants to play that hero.
They
Because I
banned
think
Kuka.
right now the idea is they're gonna just rely on this DP. They're gonna play around on DP to win the game.
Are they gonna pick TA?
TA banned.
Oh, right. I'd say they pick a mid. Winter, you're saying they pick a Nikobaby
No,
hero?
I
it's a-
think
it's a
Nikobaby.
carry
Alright,
hero.
fine.
Radiant team
Void it is.
Curses.
Yeah. But
This is what we said that we wanted them to do at the start of the tournament. We said we wanted them to save Nikobaby's hero for
Okay.
last.
Times have changed,
I know
Shiver.
times have changed, but
That was the whole 4 days ago.
This is, you go into a tournament, you've got a strategy of what you think works. You've got to stick to your guns. You can't just throw the whole rulebook, the whole playbook out of the window. Sometimes you can. But
You sold me.
I feel like this is still very much their bread and butter.
Yeah,
Red.
but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the Void, but looking at Aster's lineup, I'm also not sure what's going to happen. They kind of need like some initiating hero right now. They don't have much reliable stuns. So Gyro is going to be the win condition against a Void, which generally I wouldn't favor. So if they try to last pick a win condition, can they get a win condition and a stun?
They got an OD, they got another save, double the saves.
Yep.
Yeah, with the
But
Aghanim
it doesn't
Scepter.
feel
You guys don't seem
very
convinced.
good this time.
I have no real data on the other 4 Aster heroes that I can be like, oh yes, this perfectly enables an OD, or no, this does not synergize with an OD. Given how they last pick it, I'm assuming they think it synergizes very well.
Okay, let's be rational. Look at the lanes. Who's gonna win the lanes?
Who's got the happy lanes?
I think
I do-
Aster has the happy lanes.
But Io is not
Well,
a strong laner. I
Yeah.
guess neither is.
No, but Gyro is a strong laner. Strong
Sure.
laner with Io.
With
and
Io.
Santos Shadow Demon is also a very strong lane against the Void.
And OD is a strong lane against DP.
I think it should be like a 50-50 lane. Both will farm.
Slight advantage, perhaps.
So happy lanes on Aster's favor, but I'm not sure about the overall composition and lineup. It seems a bit greedy. Team fight, I gotta favor Alliance, and I want a game 5.
I think if Alliance can pinpoint the mistakes that Aster makes, they can definitely force out that 5th game.
I think I was gonna do a good job at making sure Sccc doesn't throw, so I'm gonna go Aster.
Okay. It's very
It
balanced.
feels weird, but they look like they can win.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's just see if weird is what they need, though, after they've been winning the entire time.
All right, let's see if Alliance can keep their reverse sweep alive, or if Aster is this time going to punch their ticket into the major. Let's head over to Toby and Kyle.
That is one hell of a question, Shiva. Who can punch that ticket? Alliance just won a game 5, if they can. They've taken 1 game off Aster. They've proven to do what no team here at the minor has been able to do. I'm seeing smiles across Fata's face at the moment, so he feels pretty happy about this. But we have the return of the Io. We have the return of the Io, Kyle, and the return of the Centaur with his horrendous 1 out of 5 win rating here at the minor.
I was shocked to see that picked into a first pick DP, because late game you have so much health, you end up getting drained. You're not a BKB buyer, and Death Prophet heals for like 100 a second, and you're just like, oh, what have we done? Aster also banned out what I would say is the best counter to the Death Prophet in the AA. So I like this choice. I said, oh, at the major we'll see first 2 DP Alliance. Like, how about right now? And they go for it. And I like it, because this to me matches what Nikobaby likes to play, and it gives Limmp not just a killer, but a hero that can also pressure objectives, which were 2 things they had issues with in both of those opening matches.
Yeah, but they resolved it in game 3, and they're going to try and do it here in game 4. I do like how Aster can do stylish plays, like SD and OD, like actually the double D saves.
Yeah, the only downside perhaps is that Handsken, he had a super high impact on the Nyx last game. Now he's playing the defensive support and the Wyvern. You doubled up on defensive supports. And Aster, you've got a lot of save mechanics.
But is it actually defensive supports once you hit the 10-15 minute mark? Because for me, it feels like both of these supports are the enablers for DP to get more aggressive early on, get up in the face. So it's less about the first 10 minutes of the laning phase and harassing heroes out, and it's more about, okay, at 10 we go.
Yep, and you have DP Void Mars. All these heroes love to go in if they have that get out of jail free card provided to them by their supports. I think this game will definitely be one of the more tactically complex, because both teams have so many saves that it's all going to be about the engages. And Alliance, you've got the Chrono.
Get out of there, Fata. He's actually been so funny about this. And Alliance will get 2 of the runes for their work.
You're just going to TP.
He can't for 2 more seconds, but he will be able to now because Fade's already used Disruption. Surprised he actually used that this early. You could have messed around with him a little bit more.
You don't really want to have Disruption. You'd prefer Shadow Poison, you'd think. But actually, against an Oracle, he just cleanses off the big stack numbers. So
but
I
it's
suppose it does make
the older
sense.
combination to like disruption into hoof stomp.
Soul Catcher as well. Yeah.
But I suppose Centaur doesn't have hoof stomp up just yet because he went retaliate level 1, which is also quite standard. So yeah, I'm interested to see how well Nikobaby was able to get something out of this lane, how much support Fata can give. Because even though I'm saying like, hey, 10 minutes Alliance can go, just how well did their lanes go? Like Panna was saying, like who's got the smiley lanes? Who's happy about their matchups? I don't think anyone's really happy to go against an IO lane. Maybe this is the first time we actually see Mars being contested properly too.
I mean, it's interesting. 3-3 going for Bulwark level 1. It's kind of an insane 1.1 to consider 40% front damage reduction.
It's not like you can harass BoBoKa. Like if you had like Rebuke and Spear, then you could mess around with the IO.
Yeah, what? Just getting up in the face with Flak.
Well,
They're taking a lot of damage down here. Oh, I just realized the really cool thing about Mars too, right? You turn on the Bulwark and you can actually absorb a lot of those Flak hits. You bring them to you and potentially protect your teammates later on in the game. It'll be really interesting to see how 3-3 plays this one.
I like this with BoBoKa and Sccc. They've realized that Handsken's just spamming Splinter Blast, and they just stay far enough away. So BoBoKa keeps moving up a little bit further up, and Sccc stood down. They just keep that nice distance between the two. Disruption up on top. They're trying to go in. Now they got Hoof Stomp available, actually getting a double stun. So Fata will not be able to escape from this one. XSS will spill the first blood. It really does show level 2 Faceless Void how he will do nothing to prevent this kind of attack, especially if he gets caught in the stun.
That was like, he didn't even have a bunch of retaliate stacks up.
No, that was just standard attack and some poison.
And it wasn't even level 2, Toby. That was a level 1 disrupt. Like, that's just a very squishy Oracle against this combination. Well, probably why they picked it first too. Mid lane Limmp once again a bit ahead of the OD. This bottom we get some harassment coming in, but this bottom lane. Well, hang on,
actually doing so much damage. But no spear. Has to tank through all of it, and at least they get efficiency regen.
I really like their itemization. 3-3 into the headdress. Bassy on Handsken. They're just winning this harass battle down bottom. And Nico Void, panel brought it up, but this is I'd say the guy's signature hero, and a big part of why Alliance was so successful at the early part of the season. Obviously, it took some nerfs, but one of the best, if not the best, complement to a Death Prophet. And more importantly, I think that their 1 and 2 positions are now on either their best or second best heroes.
It's looking like CS for mid lane. Look at DP. 15-6 versus the 8-3. And he's still got 2 other creeps to farm up underneath the tower. It seems like ChYuan has to keep on fighting underneath this tower as the wave keeps pushing down.
Exactly. Limmp is so good at laning middle. His one weakness is his mid game, but if you ask around, pretty much every mid has him in their top 3 or top 5 in terms of raw mechanical skill in the 1v1. A big part of that is his understanding of creep wave mechanics, and he's also, again, played just so much damn Dota. 2 accounts he got all the way to #1 EU. I can't even fathom how much
Does it
Dota
count
that
as a
is.
Smurf if you've got the same ranking?
No.
It's not the classic version of it.
Yeah. It's like another reason OG discussed how they picked up Sccc, right? It's like, well, you know, maybe he spams heroes, and he's playing a lot of grandma, but end of the day, if you have 2 accounts in the top 10, you probably are pretty good at clicking your buttons.
I think Limmp just fortified the wave just to mess with ChYuan even more just then. Like the first creep wave he had, it was actually almost underneath the tower, and the same thing was happening with the dire wave up on top because it was being pulled to the side. So Alliance actually just really fooling around with Aster's ability just to get this quick farm into themselves.
And mid lane, Limmp, man, just bodying.
Here we go again. Spirit Siphon up, but create the distance. Defensive imprisonments not being used for any level of farm or farm control. I'm still keeping my eye very closely on this bottom lane. Sccc and BoBoKa, they're both just fueling up their stick charge. They've got 1 cell between the 2 of them, so they've got a lot of regen to work with. But it feels like 33 and Handsken are always looking for a slight opening. That's why Handsken's holding that 1 mango charge in case the opportunity presents itself. And BoBoKa has finally triggered his sticks.
It's just, no one can really kill anybody down here, though. There's so much sustain. They're just kind of trading hits. They're going to smack each other.
It'll end up being a 2-2 rune trade as well, so nothing really advantageous to come from that. But here's the smack again. BoBoKa Very low on life, Splinter Blast, BoBoKa, he's playing this perfect range. So Handsken thinks he's actually got the Splinter Blast, and that should have been a kill on IO if it would have connected.
Yeah, I like this. That's Sccc. We saw this in the previous game as well. Getting a raindrop early just effectively nullifies the Splinter Blast damage. You get max effectiveness from those charges. You don't see raindrops ever nowadays. I'm surprised. I think there's another thing that we might see picked up more in this early laning phase. More teams get a read.
33's backing up. Looks like Couriers are bringing down more consumables, boots, everything to this off lane. Nikobaby. Not number one on CS. That one belongs to the Centaurs. Yeah, they're really going in on 33. Need more help. Maybe support is arriving from Fata, but it's all a little too late. At least be able to help protect Handsken. They won't get much more than that. And Fata now finding himself on bottom lane, probably not where he wants to be. Maybe it's time to do a little bit of a rotation up towards top lane for a Winter Wyvern and just change the lanes up. But
that's what you'd like to see. Limp's big strength in this game is his matchup against Centaur. And also, typically, maybe not, I was going to say OD I thought was favored in lane, but Limp's obviously proven me wrong on that. But throughout the game, DP loves playing against the OD because of the silence. You remove his ability to deal damage. And you don't really fear an OD who's just forced to right-click you with no orb. The BKB timing, of course, will be important. I think that is really when Aster looks to get spooky. And, of course, then the patented IO gyro combo could come online with a rapier or some such.
Fade's got so many stacks on Nico. I think he actually just lost it. Back down to 1 during disruption timing. Observers and sentries planted down by Fata. They want to try and do something here in mid. Limmp having Exorcism and level 7.
And the catapult.
And it's time to attack the lane. And ChYuan is like, oh, I don't D-push. I am an OD. Centaur, do you D-push? No. Gyrocopter, I got 1 point in flat cannon. Okay, we have no D-push. And Alliance recognize the weakness. The Imprisonment's out. Centaur's coming over. They're going to look for the quick stomp, but then another banishment out from Fade as they go from one to the other. But DP's had a lot of time to have some extra damage. OD drops the hammer, so little damage. And Nikobaby! Centaur, he walked into the edge of the chronosphere. OD being kept alive by BoBoKa. But Centaur gets the stampede up. They couldn't kill him in time as Nikobaby was trying to focus on the OD. But through all of this, through the double imprisonments, they don't control him. They just give him more time for the ulti. He's re-healed up as the ultis come back. But it will mean Alliance do not find the tower.
Big part of this. Limmp, he went for the casual bracer instead of a double null and a wand. Skip Bottle has the boots too. So much survivability, 1200 HP almost at just 8 minutes into the game. And once again, Alliance, I think they've keyed in on a big part of Aster's success. They're targeting this mid tower once again. This DP first pick, you can see why they like it.
They can actually force an issue. And we did feel like at the start of Game 3 that maybe Aster's draft was a little too slow. How do you feel about the timing in this? Like, when does it feel like they should be able to fight? Because right then it seemed like they were at least battling head-to-head, but it was without the gyrocopter.
It's really just having some sort of swarming engage. Their Centaur is huge, and you can get to a point, like you have the Wisp, right? You can play around the map globally quite easily, and Alliance have difficulties with their single target initiation. Yeah, you got Mars ult, you got Void ult, but there's no real way for them to just go on one guy at a time. And they're playing against SD, Wisp, OD. 3 different heroes with save mechanics. So long fights should favor Aster. They just need to get Alliance to use some of the tools in their box until they run out. And then all of a sudden, they can just straight up run at you. And Alliance supports would then fall.
It still feels crazy to actually hear that, though. Like, long drawn-out fights, it feels like Alliance have so many ways to disengage from these long drawn-out fights. You throw down Curse, you throw down Arena, you throw down faces like the Chronosphere. There's so many these big AoEs that can just control where the fights happen and how the fights happen. And this, I gotta say, is also the first time I think I've actually seen Alliance, hang on, bottom lane, call down committed as well. 33 at least can push back SCC with the spear, but stunned up, massively poison stacked. 33 will die underneath the tier 1 tower. But yeah, I gotta say, this is the first time I've actually seen it where Limmp has been able to go into the jungle and farm stacks uncontested and actually give space for his support to have a good time in mid.
And can we check out that ward around the 9-minute 40, or sorry, by the outpost? They changed the ward location. So Alliance got the read. Okay, twice in a row, they warded this spot. Let's sentry it. And they tweak it ever so slightly. Sentry misses the ward.
Just a little off. Well, XSS will at least be able to take the outpost. What a perfect timing, but hey, that actually hurts. That's no outpost was controlled by Alliance because of that take.
They did get mid-tower, however.
They did get mid-tower, but it was sitting at maybe 10%, and they're going to take the stack.
Yeah, but this is it, right? If you're Dire, you want to be able to take over this top side jungle of Aster. They've got tons of ward control in the area as well. Still not 6 on the supports, but Limmp has ultimate and the treads, very tanky. Probably is going to look to go pop it somewhere, maybe find a kill. Chrono is available as well up top, and Nikobaby once again, Battle Fury. He has an obsession with this item.
Really feels like he, and I almost agree with this, like he needs to have a huge amount of damage going to like the 25-30 minute mark, and he needs items for this.
Yeah.
He needs some clearance against SD illusions. There's a lot of things that can kind of work for.
I don't mind it. There's the setup,
relocate.
mid lane.
Disruption. And the relocate, that took a little bit longer, and the silence. Limp's able to get it off. Fata's also there as well to help out. He doesn't have level 6 just yet over on the Oracle, but they keep the Gyrocop to control. The IO, he's locked in here. They're just focusing on Gyrocop to defensive disruption. Actually, the imprisonment, BoBoKa will end up taking him back all the way home. But Nikobaby, he wants at least something out of this, and he's looking for Fade. But without a slow, a jump forward, you got a lock, you got a bash, you got a hit, and you got nothing.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. You gotta
I think
be
33 wants
bottom,
to keep
yeah.
going on bottom.
No reload.
He's twitching in the trees. He'll break him
Oh,
down
we got
with
the
the
wrong
Arena
one.
of Blood if they can just get close enough. Splinter Blast will fly. Nikobaby just walks underneath the tower. The Arena of Blood got both BoBoKa as well as Sccc. They're underneath the tower, but BoBoKa, he's being uncontested back at the tower, so they let the curse go. Centaur will arrive. They start hitting into the Gyrocop. The defensive imprisonment from OD stops the Gyrocop from being hit from XSS and actually keeps him alive. And into the hammer, Faceless Void. He's still surviving. Fata repairing the damage on a time walking out Faceless Void. Another quick silence from the tree line. Winter Wyvern is waiting there. And Aster, the fight that they really want to have, they just can't have.
Nobody can kill anybody, Toby. There's too many saves. Oh, what amazing positioning from BoBoKa, though. Kept the tether the entire time. Didn't even touch his gyro during the Wyvern ultimate. And that's Sccc. He's just beefy. He's got that tether. He's not taking him down.
Does Alliance need to switch their targets? Because they seem to believe they can bring down the Gyrocopter during these fights. They're focusing him through the heel of Ire.
Both teams have the same objective in these engages. You've got to kill the supports. You don't kill the supports, it's really difficult to take anybody down. And reload coming out. They found somebody with a disrupt.
Yep, it's gonna be 33. Man, he feels like the only player who keeps dying. He's actually 3 of the 4 deaths of Alliance. Doesn't make for the greatest net worth, but at the same time, he's still 400, only 400 gold behind that of the OD.
Thing is, you have the farm disparity is the big issue that Alliance
Centaur
have right
Gyro,
now. Yeah,
actually.
Gyro with a Wisp. Until that Battle Fury comes up, Gyro has a significantly faster farm speed. Centaur as well, just crushing through creep waves. Already has a hood up, going to kill bot tower all by himself. Level 10 now on XXS. And again, how do you stop him? How do you actually get heroes to kill him? You don't have lockdown unless you're willing to blow Chrono or MoOz ulti. And as we've seen, they just don't have the damage within it right now.
Or is that when you just look to the DP later on? It's like, hey, you want to get stronger, Centaur? That shall make me stronger. Of course, then you still need to get more damage output. And that's when you look towards Nikobaby. Remember, even if he joins these fights, he's got treads and a wraith band.
Yep,
like,
exactly.
This is not brilliant, and a PMS, like just to make it even
a
little bit more passive. You
need the void to be huge, right? To win this game, it wasn't going to come from mid-game team fighting. It's going to be because Nikobaby's the top of the net worth, and it's 30, 40 minutes into the game. He can then go super aggressive, perhaps kill people without needing the Chrono. His support's trusted to keep him safe.
I'm still wondering that, like, even inside that Chronosphere, if he can find the target. So this is what I was wondering about the styling of Aster.
Yep.
Defensive imprisonment, defensive disruption. Alliance pick a target, but that's not the target they get to kill.
The big difference, again, is that Handsken is on a Wyvern. He's on this defensive support hero. And sure, it adds to the team fight, but if he's a Skywrath mage, as an example, every time Chrono's off cooldown, that's a kill. Same with the Mars ulti and Spear.
Yep.
Much harder for Alliance to make plays, which is why, as we witness, the gold advantage continuing to eke a little bit more in favor of Aster every minute that goes by.
His curse should have actually killed the Gyrocopter if it wasn't for the imprisonment. Like, life is hard, and maybe the Yule Scepters almost have to be used aggressively from DP. Like, take the OD up and towards the air. He's going Hurricane Pike. The full thing at the very beginning. The Aghanim Scepter's flying on the Courier right now for SCCC. We're seeing him get really early items, and this is going to be the same type of scenario. Handsken, smart TP out, gets visible just at the end, but finishes his TP.
XXS has a pipe, and he'll have a blink in a little bit. Like, how's this hero even going to die?
They're going to try and fight bottom. We're about to put the test, the life of Aster to the test. All for the battle for the 15-minute runes. Fata has to false promise himself. I'm seeing a lot of charges starting to build up here for the OD. The arena from 33 comes up, but it won't stop the hammer from dropping and just killing Oracle. In fact, Oracle trying to heal through this? No, Fata doesn't survive through this. A quick silence. They can't drop the hammer. The spear, no, can't get him away. And Fata, no way to get up the hill in time. While Centaur working out to keep Limmp in position. So the relocating Gyrocopter can go to Ham using that Aghanim Scepter and call down. Limmp gets stunned up. He'll fall as well. Two big heroes down. The other support about to fall too. Just trying to create a little bit of space with that Winter's Curse. As Handsken flies to the trees, but XSS already there. Hits the Hoof Stomp. Got a decent amount of magical damage ready to kill off the Wyvern as he comes out of his curse. Called Cold Embrace.
And this kind of goes back to the Void item build and extent, and really the pick. Nikobaby not involved in that fight. Sure, he is Chrono, but once you use the Mars ulti to try and save Fata, like, Alliance, you got to get the hell out of there. But this is the threat of the relocate, right? Aster have the advantage in that they know that if Alliance blow a couple of spells and they're no longer looking to fight, they can always find a way to get engaged. Like, just ditch. They're trying way too hard to save this Oracle, and no XXS, no Blink Dagger necessary, initiates on the critical target, and then boom, as you said, with Gyro, you've got the Aghanims. This is dead DP. No one can save him, and all you can really do is Handsken is watch, but there's just no reason you should be engaging there, especially if Nikobaby isn't already prepared with a TP Chrono.
That's because Aster knows what they can get away with too. They had an Observer Ward smack bang in the middle of that fight, away from the fresh Dire Observer Ward that was planted. But look at Alliance. Hey, we're feeling a little bit behind. What do? Into Roshan, under the cover of smoke. The question is, does Aster realize this? The Radiant Scan was a lot further to the north, and SCCC is pretty close to this, but
see the ghost.
They're still under the cover of smoke, and the Dire Observer Ward's watching Io and Gyro farm and realizing they have no idea at all.
That's a play right there, and this is what you gotta do. You're behind, take risks. Pop the ulti, they have the Arcane, so now only 70 seconds, you'll have another one ready to go. Nikobaby, now with the Aegis, he'll have Battle Fury in just a moment, and then finally, his farm speed will start to catch up to what this Gyro's been able to output, because he's just free farming, sure, but you just don't farm as fast. 114 CS on Void, Gyro of SCC, 170.
Bottom lane, SD Disruption's out, so once again, we're gonna have a hero caught out, Handsken. No way to survive this.
But Essence Ring, this one, pretty solid pickup for Limmp. If he can live through the initial burst, that'll be huge. Trying to set up on the Gyrocopter.
looking towards mid.
I don't know.
He has Aegis to the Immortal. Like, the problem is there's an Io who has Relocate sitting on the other side, so even if they know if they jump him, they Chrono him, they're not going to get the kill.
Yep, and because the Rocket's flying to Void, you know, okay, I can just finish this off real quick. Oh, TP, oh, nice
now
yours.
it's a good Chrono position. If he can hit that back line, he'll catch out 3 heroes. Starts with the time dilation. Again, time walking back. They're not feeling like they've got the fight in them.
They don't have damage, Toby. No DP ultimate, no chance of killing anybody inside of Chrono.
Faces Void instead found Fade. And that doesn't help. Just time walk away from the illusions. Look for their other target up on top, 33.
Hang on.
Down he goes again on the side lane.
They're going to fight this.
Relocate.
He's going to
Nico,
ditch.
ready to pop the Chronosphere.
Don't
He's already got it up, and he only has the Io to work with.
There's no way. BoBoKa, he is a team player, and he knew exactly what he was bringing himself back to.
Denying beeps is subtitle.
Yeah,
I shall not kill my core. I decide that this is a good plan.
I think that the problem I have with that play, as soon as the Mars buys back, that's a pretty big tell to BoBoKa. They might be fighting you if you come back, so just go solo. And the pre-click Chrono means you have this Aegis advantage, but for 2 full minutes, you can't press it.
Yeah. And even if you do now, full mech over on Io, 19 minutes in, regen through the roof. And we haven't seen a really impactful exorcism in a while, and we may have to wait a little longer because Limp's about to be initiated on SD. The smoke breaks, and he gets far enough away. Fresh Observer Wall got planted. Man, that got pinged quickly. They have an Observer and Sentry on the hill. So Alliance, this time around, they have better vision, but now the ping coming from Myers, it's like they know, they see.
Limmp.
But he went back in again. Disruption's out, a blink into a Hoof Stomp. Limmp actually getting a quick little dodge out. He's protected by the false promise. A quick stampede. They get on top. Aster want to keep the fight going into the tier 2 tower. Handsken's here. The curse is out. It's over on the OD, and they'll start beating into him. Limp's just draining everyone's life. Now Nico will finally arrive in this fight, but Mars is already dead. OD! He's been building up the charges. The hammer just obliterates Handsken. Limmp has to run away from this Gyrocopter. It's too much damage, but even the blink down to a Hoof Stomp. Limmp won't escape. He's up in the air. The Aegis Immortal is finally bumped, but he's got no other teammates left. Nikobaby to celebrate this second life. And really, there's nothing to celebrate unless you're Aster.
There's no chrono. There's no chrono, Toby. You can't take this fight, Limmp. You know they warded in front of you, and he just gets caught by the oldest trick in the book. All right, guys, I'm leaving. And then boom, from the side door, SD picks up the disrupt. And they start a fight that they just can't win. 13-2 now. And yeah, look, it's just the Purge. This is why they picked the SD, because the defensive Yules is irrelevant. The Purge will take you out of it immediately with that constant Purge mechanic. And XXS, he's the only one in the Mars ulti. He's invulnerable, he's got like 3k health. Yeah, you get a huge Wyvern ulti, but where's the damage?
Like if Limmp got that ulti up beforehand and through the imprisonments, this might have been a very, very different story.
Exactly, but I honestly don't know if I'd even agree, just because there's so much sustain on Aster, BoBoKa, the Wisp with the mech. There's no Chronosphere, and even if there were one, the Alliance damage output is just negligible until they get bigger items up. You got Crimson Guard, the item of choice for your Mars. That's not going to help. Wyvern, maybe you pick up an Orchid, sure, but with that level 10 talent plus 60 damage, you like that. This will help. But all three of these Aster cores are so strong already. 2,700 health on the Centaur with a pipe. The Gyrocopter at 2k. Like, it's just so difficult to take these guys down. Already with a Maelstrom, soon to finish off the BKB.
And the momentum will continue to swing. After that fight happened, still no outpost controlled by Alliance, only by Aster, and they got all 4 bounty runes into Aster. We're back to the status quo in the first one and like game 1 and game 2.
This is what's cool about what Aster have done, right? Where they recognize, look, Alliance out team fought us that previous game. Bet you they're going to try it again. So they go for double banish and the relocate. So how many kills of these 13 were just straight up freebies because somebody set up for an easy reload? Like, they're just abusing the map control. And once again, Alliance, you're naturally on a clock because if Chrono's down, if DP ult's down, you're not really looking to engage. Well, that's easy pickings for Aster then to sweep the map. Eventually you'll find somebody. And so far so good for the side of Aster. They're looking to close it out.
SCC's items are just going through the roof. He's 13,500 in the net worth. He has BKB, Ags, Maelstrom, right? And that's the fresh BKB. Yeah, the Ags and the Maelstrom during the last fight. So much damage to come out from him. And BoBoKa is being uncontested sitting next to him too. There's no way for Alliance to jump the back line. Like, every time I think I see like 33 thinking about jumping the back line, remember, there's no blink. He's trying to get Crimson Guard. They're trying to have him as the aura kind of builder. And Aster, like, what was it, 3 times on the side lanes? They were able Crimson, to catch him out?
I get it because you want to play against the flak, but I feel like Bulwark could do that just as well. You kind of need either the offensive power or something like a Halberd.
Handsken?
Hold up.
He Splinter Blasted the wave. He's beginning his TP out, and luckily he didn't continue flying north, or else he would have gotten to the cooldown of SCCC.
And I like the little things. Fade was camping bot that whole time. I'll push out the lane a bit, but if he was able to find 3-3, they would have reload in.
They're coming up for the top lane.
Hello.
Homing missiles already chasing Handsken. Remember, he's got the curse available, and that's why they're staying massively split up. And they've got so much magical damage. The Cold Embrace does not protect you at all.
You got illusions from Centaur scouting out the bottom side as Alliance. They look to push out bottom. It's just, it's not gonna. It's how do you fight? You're gonna have BKBs up soon. That could be the difference maker. We saw that in that first game as well when they finally got a fight win after the BKBs on both cores came out. There's the one on Nico.
They're gonna smoke fight. XSS is the only target they really have to work with, and we'll see just how much they can do. Relocate is up. BoBoKa and SCCC, they're so close to each other. The observable, it doesn't see the IO relocate starting. They got the silence, but it won't interrupt. Which it will. Yulceptor, he cannot get the pull back out again. Perfect control from Limmp, watching BoBoKa like an absolute hawk. And now, even with mech, he can tether. Wow, that range.
Goodness.
Yeah. Well, I guess your spirit is strong. ChYuan, meanwhile, setting up on 33. You know, it just wouldn't be a game 4 without 33 dying on a side lane well away from the rest of his team. He's just really been on the receiving end of so many of these disruption or astral setups.
I mean, he's the one who's tasked with shoving out that hard lane, and someone's going to get caught by it eventually. Really nice play there, as you said. The chrono from the high ground. At first I was like, ooh, that's ambitious, but Limmp, as you said, once again, right place, right time.
Downside is Fata got the last hit.
Yeah.
So he took the 983 gold that 7 times kill streak was worth on SCCC.
Yeah, well, the other thing is...
And he's looking at a Blink Dagger as his item of choice.
Yeah, and that's just not going to give you any damage. That's the concern. These 3 cores of Aster still in the top 3 positions, and they're all so strong. The Centaur is just not going to go down. You're going to run out of gas in these fights, Alliance.
But there are 2 good things. Like the 10-second BKBs are now up on Alliance, and it's Aster who's looking to probably get aggressive. They're initiating forward. Hoofstomp's already out. Relocate coming in behind Nikobaby. Does not have Chronosphere. He's waiting in the trees. They lose the courier, but Nico does manage to jump away from the attack of Aster. Now, once again, this is around the 25-minute mark. It's around the bounty times. I want to give massive props actually to Handsken. This guy, his Nyx Assassin was fantastic before. He's managed to finish an Orchid 25 minutes into the game. He's looking at the top lane. He's always pushing it out. And is able to at least pick up one of the bounty runes.
A little cast wise, he's 0-4-1, Toby. He's 3-3s, 1-6.
Support
why are his deaths bad and Hansken's getting praise, huh?
Well, Handsken, for me, is at least thinking about how the hell can we win this game. And at least having a silence up your sleeve is good.
That's good. I mean, he recognizes what his team needs, at least, and that's damage.
It's true.
No blink daggers here.
Oh, God.
BKB on the Death Prophet, but really, it's just once again Aster. Whenever Chronosphere is down, they have the ability, they find a kill, they place a ward, they get a tower. All right, guys, Alliance might be looking to make a move. Let's regroup, retreat. Roshan will spawn in 20 seconds.
He's got a Paladin sword, and he's combining it with basically a Mjolnir. Like, once he farms up these wave up on top, like, hey, she's got it already. Mjolnir is now up, and Roshan will also spawn in 10 seconds time.
That is like the best item for Gyro with a Wisp on your team. Especially, you consider he's got a Vlad's, he's got Mjolnir now. Oh, man. He's so fat on this Gyro. And probably the rest of the team too. I like the Pike choice, on ChYuan as well. You want to try and play with as much spacing as possible against all these bubbles, and it also allows you to kite the void.
Well away from Radiant Vision, but yep, Aster's gone in. That was Scc's courier sitting inside. And this is Chrono, everything up for Alliance. They just need to see inside the pit.
Nico?
OD is waiting, SD is waiting. The two saves are at the back of the lines. So Limmp, yep, smoke's gonna break. They're inside of Roshan. They know, they know. But what do? Back in. Kill Roshan. Wait, Face's voice not there. He's farming underneath the Radiant Observer Ward. That's why Aster feels confident they can just sit inside Roshan, take the Aegis. Woo! XSS. Blink Hoofstomp's trying to find his target. Fata able to use that blink getting away. And now the Chronosphere. He caught the Iron. They're going to try and kill off BoBoKa in the backline. Limmp under the cover of his own BKB. BoBoKa, can they kill him up? He gets the mag charge off in the defensive imprisonment from the OD. They can't finish. At least the SD will now fall. BoBoKa dying as well. Finally, this Exorcism is doing some damage, but the buyback comes in from the SD. Limmp has to get the silence off, but Sccc, he's got so much life, and Fata's going to give some back, but a great hookstop from XSS, catching two inside the river. Yules try and create some space, trying to get Limmp back out of here and make him pay the TP out. Anyone going to stun the homing missile?
Wow.
Woo, that is close.
Woo! Talk about balls of steel. Limmp just staring death in the face, gets the port out just in time. What fast fingers from Fata! Saying I might be one of the veterans nowadays, but I still got the quick fingers. He then blinks in to save his Death Prophet. Limmp thanking him by getting out in time. They got both supports.
Yeah, they got both supports. The only person to die was 33. Oh, I almost feel like he's the new Cinderin right now.
Problem though, Toby, is they have Aegis.
XSS found his target. Death Prophet needs to get out. Has the Yule Scepter available, not to mention Oracle standing behind him.
They don't have cooldowns anymore, Toby. So Aster, you've got a full 100 seconds where you could just walk down a lane. There's no catch anymore from Alliance.
Fata's like, I just need to keep disarming the Gyrocopter. Splinter Blast, try and force him back. 33. Well, they get silences through and through, but that tier 3 tower, days are gone. Handsken's doing whatever he possibly can. With the health burn against Centaur, the heart kind of works against him, but he backs up 4k HP, regens so quickly. And he's actually been given over the cheese. More Splinter Blast, but you said, like, where are these big ultimates? Where are these abilities to try and fight? Nikobaby, the hook stop! He jumped in! The two, and he gets held hard by the flank, and Nikobaby protected by the cold embrace. He'll have a little bit more time bought for him. The arena is down from 33, but no one is actually inside of it. Sccc with no mana. Remember, he's got the Aegis Immortal. He doesn't care if he dies. They just keep going until Chrono and Exorcism is up, and that's another good 40 seconds before both are back up and running.
Squeeze at least one Rex. Whoa, Nikobaby just leaping it. That was wild.
That's balls deep. That's Nico.
Hey,
he's still trying to stand on the front lines. He is doing that indeed. Yule Scepter to keep this Gyrocopter up in the air, away from the melee racks. They need a couple more seconds. Chrono is 22. Exorcism is 5. And now the backdoor protection is up. They have some time creation at the moment.
15 seconds
no
on Chrono.
arena. The creep wave is now arriving. Exorcism is up. 8 seconds for Chrono. Nikobaby trying to wrap around the side, but the Radiant Observe Ward that's sitting on the bottom lane, it's scattered out. They know where he is. They know what he wants to try and do. MoOz is dying to Sccc, but the Exorcism is already up and running. Now the jump forward. Who have they got? They've got XSS. That's not who they want. Maybe now they can Chronosphere, but no, Nikobaby. These actually BKB jumping forward.
Ooh.
Time dilation, but Aster, they're playing around him. This is the styling I'm talking about. This is why they have their own brands of perfume. Aster are just on another level. They've backed themselves up, and now they'll reinsert back towards the melee racks. And SCC is like, come at me, bro. Come at me. What have you got?
This is
and
wild.
another hoof stomp. 33 being caught. SCC will engage. BoBoKa finally coming a little bit further forward. Now remember, there's no more exorcism available. The jump forward. Nikobaby, Chronosphere. He caught BoBoKa, but he'll need more damage to get the kill. No SC disruption. Face ups on the back lines. You got SCC underneath the tier 4 towers. Caught inside the arena. 33 will end up popping up. The false promise was exactly that. A promise of not healthcare for all. SCC still wants to keep fighting. Another horse on forward. Nikobaby caught out, but the curse, it'll create some space. Jericho's moving in, but again the disruption. They just can't get a break here, Alliance. As Aster, they want to end this. They're pushing for the tier 4 towers. They know Alliance have nothing in the tank. No big ultis. Too much of a cooldown. They want to end it now. Alliance, what have you got left? What have you got to fight with? They're hitting the Great Wall of China and their heads are hurting. Death Prophet, cold embrace, but the rocket barrage, the flag cannon, she's down as well for the count. Buyback will bring it back to life again. Nico wants one, but again, defensive disruption. Nico, now he can get the kill as he comes out of protection. Up towards the iron, take out the supports, but another defensive imprisonment. Nico will have to stand inside the call out if he wants to find this kill on iron, but man, you've been winding up for all those charges. MoOz, he's going to be protected, but Nico is back. They're throwing money at the situation. If they don't have abilities, that'll do, I guess. Death Prophet once again in trouble. Focus down by SCC. The Dire Ancient is ticking down. 1500 HP. Now the fortification. Another time block is here, but you're just walking through it. XSS just walked over the top of the Winter Wyvern. The Ancient is re-exposed once again. No more fortification available. No more DP as well. She's down. No ultis. No abilities. No heroes left alive. And GG. Aster will take game 4. They lost one game in their run here to the grand final victory, and it was here in the grand final, but they triumph at the end of the push.
Unbelievable, Toby. What a pop off, too. They earned this victory. Unbelievable. The Crimson Guard 3-3 with the Bulwark. They had Repair Kit, they had Glyph, doing everything they can to keep the base alive. It was like a 4-minute team fight, but the positioning, they consistently can only get the one chrono.
Man, here it is, Aster. They have deserved this. They've deserved the place in the major position. They are your grand final champions of the StarLadder ImbaTV.
What a performance, Aster. Victorious. They looked near unstoppable. No, they were near unstoppable, and only one game they lost. And that one game, as a result, we saw an entirely different side to Aster than what we've seen the entire tournament before that. An incredible run here to talk about their performance and the rest of the teams. I'm here with Tsunami and Nahaz. Guys, I feel like everybody talking about Europe needing more slots, blah, blah. I think there's one region that just keeps pumping these teams out that make it to minor finals after minor finals after minor finals. Where's that extra slot for China?
Well, and it's the same story every year. You look at 2018, Vici Gaming and VGJ Thunder come out of nowhere to reach back-to-back major grand finals, losing to a red-hot VP team. Of course, last year, Vici Gaming win here, dropping only one map. They go on to win the Stockholm Major, and now this year, Team Aster, I'm telling you, the Chinese Dota 2 season starts with the Lunar New Year. These teams come out looking refreshed, and Aster was the best team here from the very beginning of the tournament here to the end on stage.
It's consistently these two regions showing up in these grand finals of the minor, so it's nice that NA and CIS get extra slots to compensate whenever their slots get confiscated, but it's clear which regions are still coming out the strongest over and over again. It was Nigma in the previous minor. Yep. Now, once again, China has retaken it as IG did in the first minor. Yeah. So Team Aster, very encouraged by this performance, very encouraged by the drafts. I honestly don't even know if you're going to give QQQ the coach spot back, because I think LaNm proved that I can make it through undefeated, and then whenever I finally do get defeated, I can bring something completely different to the table. Yeah,
incredible performance by the squad, and they have been, most of all, so consistent in just showing good game after good game. Yes, okay, in the game they lost, maybe SCCC made a couple of mistakes, but he has proven this tournament that he can carry the team even if all else fails as well, which, by the way, it hasn't really failed. Every single one of these players has, at one point or another this tournament, stepped up and has been the MVP.
Yeah, I think it's striking. You have to look at the big question marks for the team coming in. How is the support duo going to work out between BoBoKa, who really hasn't reached that same level of play that we've seen since a few years ago he burst on the scene, and Fade, who has arguably had a case for the best regular season support in the DPC last year, but how were they going to interact? They had shuffled back and forth who was going to be the 4, who was going to be 5. That was a strength for Aster throughout this tournament. And then, of course, the Malaysian midcomer ChYuan. He was awesome in the mid lane. We've seen him in some SEA rosters before, but I don't know that we've seen him flash this kind of potential on this kind of stage.
And then the last one, XXS.
Oh, man.
This is a man who's been middling around for a while, and literally every single game of this grand finals, I'm like, why is this Omni Knight so farmed? Why is this Centaur so farmed? How does he have so much net worth every single time?
Well, this is a guy that was one of the best regarded young offlaners in China. He was 16, 17, already being talked about as one of the brightest young stars in the region. He swaps in and plays the mid position at TI, and then swaps right back to the offlane role, and he's already looking like one of the best offlaners in this DPC season.
The question is, how far can they go? So far, everybody that has done well at a minor is doing quite well at majors too.
This is what they needed. Whenever Aster shows up to the major directly, they're like, we didn't need to try. Oh God, what's going on? We're losing all over the place. But now they've had honestly not that many games because they ended up 2-0ing everyone, but it's still a lot of competitive experience. We had already mentioned how we're kind of starting to see a meta emerge that will likely be taken onto the major.
Yep.
Death Prophet showing up quite a bit. Unsurprisingly, Nyx Assassin's still just as popular as he was before 7.24B, but the team that has the most LAN experience is Team Aster, and I think that they're going to use that very wisely once they show up in LA.
I think so too. And let's also close the tournament in terms of second place team Alliance. They were the only ones to be able to take a game off of Aster so far. They did show they were good, but they weren't as good as we were expecting them to be based on previous performances.
I'm going to say this right now, though. Don't sell those Alliance jerseys. Wear that Alliance stuff, guys, because I think this team is going to continue to be a factor. Look, they are clearly going through a transitional phase right now. It is a big difference going into these events at the beginning of the year as an untested roster versus coming in as the favorites. Other teams are studying you. You are under a microscope, and your A-line strats get figured out. Alliance hasn't necessarily shown that they have the backup plan yet, but with the talent on this team, I think that they're going to be just fine going forward.
Oh, I think so too. And even with these points that they gathered extra, being second place here, Alliance is still in a solid position to make it to TI based on points. Sure, mathematically there are some crazy scenarios here and there, but I think they're good. I think we're going to definitely see them perform. And this was the tournament where we also said of them that seemed like they're trying out new stuff. Perhaps they just need some more time. But the new stuff that Aster tried, which basically the only thing they changed was the coach. And then they had a standing coach for their new coach as well. it just seemed to all come together. Before this, every major, they were like expected to not do well because they are like in the middle of the pack. I think their performance here is also such a confident booster that they can now surpass their barrier that they've had at majors.
Yeah, you definitely got the feeling seeing them in the grand finals that, as we said in a previous draft, I don't think that they've shown all they have. And when you look at going into a major, you're red hot, teams are going to be looking at you, but you get the sense that they have a lot more in their back pocket.
Yeah, and even whenever they were making it through the Chinese qualifiers, they 3-0'd Newbie in that minor qualifier to make it here. So even intra-regionally, they're very strong. It's also proving to be the case whenever they face other regions as well.
Yeah, it has been a tremendous run. It has been a tremendous tournament for them. We've had probably our most exciting series earlier today with Gambit versus Alliance. Happy we still had that as well. Other than that, though, I'm happy to see such a dominant team making it out of the minor and making it to the major. LaNm, you have any final words of the last 4 days?
I think the level of Dota that we've seen has been really good, especially as the tournament has gone on. I think that, we had the first balance patch. It hasn't looked like it's changed the things that much. And hey, I also want to say a special shout out, Happy International Women's Day once again, and to all the women in esports. You're appreciated, you're seen, keep going. We need more of you.
I would say,
particularly the one sitting to my right.
I have a beard. No, I don't think anyone would confuse that. I would say the most encouraging thing for me is that we are seeing in that very last game that there's a lot of strategies left to be discovered in this patch.
Yeah.
It took until the very last game of the tournament that we're like, oh yeah, IO's still very competitive.
Yeah, by the way, this hero.
The Shadow Demon, first phase idea. It's if you want to win just completely dumpster a lane, then pair it with the Centaur, who's also not extremely top tier right now. So
Death Prophet.
Death Prophet, exactly. Yeah, I think there's a lot of encouraging stuff to see as we move forward in just 1 week to the major.
Yeah, a lot still to discover in the world of Dota 2, and that is hopefully all going to be discovered in about a week's time when the major happens. Aster, they are your champions here at the StarLadder ImbaTV Minor. That was it from us. It has been an absolute blast, so thank you to everybody who tuned in and for supporting everybody here. So with that being said, we wish you a good night, and we'll see you later for more Dota 2.